Did you hear that? That's the sound of silence. But what does silence truly represent in this world? Is it a message to the remaining souls that transverse this earth? Or is it a symbol that represents the frailty of man? In this reality, silence is nothing but survival. If you're new to the page, hello and welcome to my place on the internet. In preparation for day one, I'll be going over the critically acclaimed Quiet Place movie in hopes that you, the viewer, will grasp a new perspective on this one-of-a-kind series. Let's get into it. Imagine one day, you wake up, and everything you know about this earth is different. The stores are empty, the people you once knew are missing, and every aspect of life revolves around one thing, and that is to not make a sound. Well, this is everyday life for the Abbott family. Lee Abbott and Evelyn Abbott spend every day of their lives trying to protect their family from the unknown dangers of the outside world. After the death of their child and an up-close encounter with the Death Angel, the Abbott family constantly look for ways to fight back against these demonic creatures. Death Angels are single-handedly the greatest threat to mankind, and not much is known about these creatures. The only information that everybody knows about them is that they hate sound, and they will kill or stop anything that produces it. Will the Abbott family ever find normalcy in this silent world, or will they continue to live their lives in constant fear? This is the concept of the series, and I gotta say, it's honestly something really special. The plot to this movie is just so original and well thought out. John Krasinski is just an incredible actor. His tribute to the horror genre is just perfection. He made this story so entertaining even without the use of dialogue, and that's just absolutely unbelievable. I would like to talk about the second section of this video, which is my thoughts on the characters in this story. A Quiet Place has incredible character design and character development. John Krasinski, the director of the film, truly put his heart and soul into developing the characters that make up this story. I would like to really touch on Krasinski's character, Evan Abbott. The fact that Krasinski acted in this film and directed it is just absolutely unbelievable. Fun fact, actually, he also played a deaf angel in a couple of scenes. Emily Blunt was also absolutely fantastic in this film. Her performance as Evelyn was just so realistic. She truly made this film feel real. She carried this film, which is why she's the protagonist of the second film. In this movie, you are truly connected to the Abbott family, to become a part of their family when you watch this film, which makes Evan's death even more heartbreaking. You truly feel the sorrow in the family's souls after the death of Evan. It's gut-wrenching, but beautiful at the same time. Character design is just so important in this film, and the entire team working on this film truly pulled off all the designs. The Death Angels are just so cool looking and menacing. They truly strike fear into the deepest depths of your soul. I can literally talk about these characters and their designs in a whole separate video if I wanted to. The character design and development should be studied because it's original and it's unique. It's truly remarkable. I absolutely adore all of these characters. But now it's time to talk about the setting. Our story takes place on a farm, and let me just say, this is a perfect setting for the film. The film is just so well detailed that you truly have to watch it multiple times to understand the complexity of the setting. Let's take this scene for example. In the beginning of the film, the Abbott family go to a store near their house for supplies. Almost everything is taken in the store, except for the chip bags or anything that would make too much noise. That's why the shopping cart is also left on the floor. Another example of this use of detail throughout the movie is also in the beginning scene. All the cars and bikes were left on the main street because they would also make too much noise. It's little things like that that make this movie so special and unique. One of my favorite things about this film is the amount of symbolism that comes from it. In the film, all the animals have been eaten by the Death Angels, which in my opinion is really cool symbolism. All that is left on this earth for death angels to consume are human beings, which makes humans at the bottom of the food chain. And to have the Abbott family live on a farm really touches on this idea of symbolism and puts it into reality. Death angels, I believe, also represent the end of the world, or judgment for those of the weak. That's why there are people left, but only the ones that truly deserve the concept of life. The setting alone tells a story, and that's how you know the script was really well written. I want to talk something that goes one-to-one with the setting, and that is the soundtrack. All of you are probably thinking, John, you're incorporating a soundtrack section in a video for a movie that has no sound. Well, you would be absolutely wrong. A Quiet Place somehow keeps the audience's attention without hardly any uses of dialogue throughout the entire film. But they do this with noise effects and soundtrack music. It's honestly absolutely fantastic. The best way to describe the sounds in this film is like you're playing a horror game, right? And you're constantly listening for the specific sounds that indicate that the creature's coming to your door, or that there's an enemy in a room so you can predict a jump scare. Well, that's what it's kind of like when you're watching this film. You're constantly looking for indications on whether or not the death angels are there, or it's just them imagining things. The sound in this film has its own personality, and let me just say, it's out to get you. It likes to trick you and twist your mind in a numerous of different ways. It establishes the overall mood of this film, and it's absolutely fantastic. Now that I've talked about the main bullet points, it's time that we got to the conclusion. A Quiet Place is by far one of the greatest modern horror films of all time, and I truly believe that. The story tears apart your heart and rebuilds it at the same time. A Quiet Place is truly one of the greatest horror films of all time. A Quiet Place gets its well-deserved 10 out of 10 in the horror genre. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.